States. Now we need to take a look at the size of the homeless population. It's just short of 600,000 people. And over 600 homeless people were killed by police last year. Over 600. The lowest number, the most conservative number that I could find. The most conservative number that I could find for the total number of deaths by, or people killed by police for last year was 1,066. 1,066. 1,022 of them, 44 of them are female. It's about 96% male. And then we got to consider that in 2019, 49% of those who were killed by police, 49% were homeless, as opposed to last year where 61% were homeless. Hatred towards the homeless is on the rise. Now we've got good ideas. It started off as good ideas that just turned into racist hate groups. BLM, great idea at the beginning. When it became a racist hate group, when people started murdering people over saying all lives matter. Well, that's the fact, all lives matter. We need to stop this special rights crap. I'm going to tell you about a man from South Dakota, Mr. Two Dogs Jr., Raymond Two Dogs Jr. He was in a local paper and that was it. That was it. He and his cousin both went missing. They went missing around the same time as Selena Not Afraid. And where Selena Not Afraid got a lot of attention, she got a whole lot of attention because people wanted to take a look at the video I'd made about the missing women of Hardin, Montana. And they looked at that, and then they looked at the situation with Natalie and assumed that I had killed Selena Not Afraid. I get this a lot. My friend Christine Bouhit, she died of a fentanyl overdose while I was in prison. That's right. So then I get people that were friends of mine getting a hold of me saying, I know your reputation, you killed her, man. What'd you do to her? Did you slip her that fentanyl? Like, no, dude. Dude, I was in prison. You know me. What are you thinking? Now, the reason that it's so easy to victimize males, especially out on the streets, well, we teach people that men are the victims. Men. No, we don't. We teach that women are the victims, men are the predators, and that's just how it is. Now, when it comes to missing and murdered Indigenous people, we're gonna look this name up: Raymond Two Dogs Jr. Oh, come on! Oh, and then my computer didn't work. Come on! Why is this not working? All right. I can't get my phone to work. And I also can't get, oh, there it goes. Oh, a different one. This is Raymond George Jr. Alright, that's not it. That guy's RSF or RSO. All right. Maybe this will work. The internet's running a little bit slow. Anyway, the epicenter for missing and murdered Indigenous women in America. I'm gonna try to bring up a map here. USA. It's actually the corner of 4 states: Montana, Wyoming, South Dakota, and Nebraska. Images. Let me show you where this area is, if we can get this to work. Like I said, my computer runs really slow. It's full of evidence. Evidence of child molesters, evidence of rapists, evidence of murderers, evidence of neglect and police misconduct and abuse. Let's take a look at this one right here. This would be close enough, right? The maps are clearly lined. All right, let's take a look at this map. This is Nebraska. This right up here, this would be Shadron and Alliance. Right down here would be Scotts Bluff. This would be Cheyenne right here. Denver would be about right here. Boulder would be about right there. Now, the area that we're looking at is between here and here. This is our target area. Here's Buffalo, Wyoming right here. We got Cody a little further over here. We got Crow Agency right here on the Crow Reservation. Just north of that is Hardin, Montana, which used to be reservation territory, and now it's not. Just north of there is Billings. And then straight across from Billings, we get into South Dakota, Rapid City area down over here, and all the way down to Alliance. Like I said, this area right here, this is where the majority of missing and murdered Native American women in the United States reside and are found or end up missing. Now, what is going on with Mr. Two Dogs Jr.? All right. We'll see if that brings up something. Perhaps this way. Come on. Now, I'm not going to say that this man was homeless because I don't know that. I'm, matter of fact, assuming. All right, I don't know why this isn't working. South Dakota. Maybe this will work. So, with all these people being killed by the police and the majority of them being men, we have to ignore the men. Mr. Two Dogs Jr. went missing from about here, and he was found somewhere over in here. I think the article I read said that he was found right next to the border of, no, it would have been here, sorry. He was found right next to the border of 2 states. So he'd either have been found on the border of Nebraska or on the border of Wyoming. All right. Body of 2 missing men found north of Manderson. The bodies of 2 men missing since December on the Pine Ridge Reservation have been found. Robert Kills Enemy Jr. All right. See, obviously I made a mistake. My information was not incorrect. I just got the names wrong. But we're going to read this. Now, first of all, I want to apologize to the family of Robert Kills Enemy Jr. It was improper and incorrect for me to get the name wrong, and I should have checked that before starting speaking. I know that a lot of the people, when I was speaking about the missing people in Hardin, Montana, a lot of people were too busy making fun of the names to pay any attention to what was going on. These are a couple of the people that I tried speaking up about. All right, so it says Robert Kills Enemy Jr. and Steve Little Dog right here. Mr. Robert Kills Enemy Jr., this is him. And this is Steve Little Dog. This is a few years ago, but March 17th, 2020. The bodies of two men missing since December on the Pine Ridge Reservation have been found. Robert Kills Enemy Jr., 25, was found last week. Steve Little Dog, 25, was discovered Monday. Both were found north of Manderson. Kills Enemy and Little Dog were last seen December 27th. Since then, teams have been scouring the area in an attempt to find the cousins. There's more, but this one isn't working. It's not scrolling. The thing with my friends is that they show statistics. They literally show why men have no rights, why men are not heard, because our friends and families don't care. When you destroy a man's name the way that you destroy mine, you need to allow that man the right to defend himself, the right to face his accusers, the right to show evidence in court. The problem with my friends is that they don't want to look. They don't want to look. They don't want to look at the harm that they cause. You can go ahead and blame me for my choices all you want. My choices are mine. I accept that. I take responsibility for that. However, my choices were based on the options that I had and the information that I had. Every single person who called me friend showed me that they're not. Every one of them. Every one of them wanted to do literally the things that push people to commit suicide. You know, heaven forbid anybody ever do that to them. If I give you a small taste of what I go through, you flip your wig. Where did your friggin' words go? Where did your advice go? You showed how easily you can get something done because you're not a homeless male. You tell me how easy it is for me. You don't go in with me to talk to the police. You, a pretty white girl who can go in and talk to a cop, and he'll literally beat the hell out of somebody and arrest him just because you said something. Whether that man did it or not is arbitrary. Nobody cares. Nobody cared if I killed Natalie or not. They just wanted somebody to hurt, and to this day they keep it up. And what do my friends do? Drugs. That's what my friends do. Drugs. My brother probably smokes meth every day with between 3 and 5 people who either threatened to kill me or assaulted me. So, I mean, really, what use is that idiot? See, homeless people run around victimizing the homeless. Homeless people do this. There is nothing more disgusting on this planet than stealing a homeless person's things. I am going to tell you that. Stealing a homeless man's backpack, that's like stealing a diabetic's insulin. Telling a homeless man that he can't use a blanket or he's going to have to spend a bunch of time in jail, do 60 hours of community service, get a trespassing on his record for sleeping on public property and in urban camping because why? He slept with a blanket, or she slept with a blanket. So your choices are freeze to death or spend 60 hours of community service, $400 in fines, and of course court dates which you have to pay for.
I know, right? I haven't seen them in a couple. I thought they would be here this weekend too. They weren't here this weekend.
There was about 20 of them in here yesterday. They were the loudest I have heard them in here. It was like they was having their KKK meeting all public again. I'm like, that's just weird.
No, it's not. It's still
That's true. That is true.
in general, Tillamook looks weird. Tillamook has a lot of weird people.
I'm from Chapel, Nebraska. I'm used to this kind of hatred. I'm used to the KKK. I'm used to people blaming blacks and Mexicans. What I'm not used to is, oh my God, out in public.
Well, this used to be a sundown town not even 9 years ago. They barely took down their signs 9 years ago. There used to be signs everywhere that said, you know what a sundown town is, right? Come on, away. A sundown town means if you're a person of color and you're out by sun, out past the sunset, they'll kill you. They'll kill you. And they will.
Yeah, there's a place called Rosewood. You can look it up. Of course, that's a lot different situation. That's oh God, I hope the baby comes out white, but if it doesn't, I know exactly what to do. That woman got a lot of people killed.
My baby's white, my grandpa's white, my mama's white, but I'm not.
Well, you're human to me.
Right? Huh?
I said, you're human to me.
That's what matters, right?
Yes, sir.
No matter what our differences are or beliefs are, as long as we can have an honest discord and accept each other for who we are, that's all that matters. Yeah, I grew up in California. I'm the opposite.
Huntington Beach.
Huntington Beach, Oxnard, California. My best friend growing up was a Nazi lowrider.
Right?
So for me, having a parent that's Caucasian, a grandfather that's Caucasian, friends that are Caucasian and extremely racist and blatant about it, Nazi symbols.
And they still hanging out with you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was also hanging out with them.
Yeah.
That shows acceptance.
That's one of the things I try to teach people in Colorado. We had a lot of people, they grow up in the system, they get them tattoos, then they become adults, go through the adult system, then they're dropped off in the real world. The real world don't know what it's like in the system, so they don't realize it.
And they don't give a shit either.
True that. No, we've yeah. It's frozen up. I'll show you. It's still frozen up. You see the little thing, the little icon isn't turning. So, Robert Kills Enemy Jr., 25, was one of them, and his cousin. I'm sorry, my eyeballs are burning. I just stuck my nasty fingers in them. Now there's Ben Cookie Daniels. He's another homeless person that I knew. Worked with Antifa and was very, very militant about it. Now this guy was one of the nicest guys. He's probably about twice my size. I mean, he's a pretty big feller. Ain't nearly as big as Biggin, but it's a different story. One of the things I've been doing, I've been calling people out, and they don't like it. But I'm not calling them out for being evil. I'm calling them out for being complacent. I'm calling them out for being sexist. I'm calling them out for treating us differently than you would treat a woman. If a man is being victimized, what do? You give him advice. When he's abused, he needs somebody to go in with him, especially if he's homeless. 96% of those killed by police last year were men. Can't rise much more than that, can you? The reason for that is because an officer knows that people will flip their wig if you shoot a woman. But we've got so many people, so many. And it's horrible segregation. It's segregation for a good cause. Well, it's not a good cause. You know why? Because it's getting innocent people killed. Innocent people, whether it's their own people who did it or not. When I say their own people, I'm talking about the prison people. When you're in prison, you got your people. Maybe it's your lawyer, maybe it's your uncle, maybe it's your auntie in Bel Air. Maybe it's your mom and dad or your siblings. Maybe it's a dealer you met back in '96. Who knows? Now, part of what constitutes your people is, well, they're yours. The people that you choose. When you get a lawyer that you like, you choose that lawyer. You go back to him. When you got a cousin that you like, you choose that cousin. He's the one you're going to go hang out with. He's the one that, hey man, I just scored $50 and 2 concert tickets. You going? You know, those are your people. With Ben Cookie Daniels, his people were the homeless people, but also his people were the Antifa people. And me and him got into a fight. Not a fist fight, it was just over Facebook. He was wanting to have every neo-Nazi murdered. Like, outright, that's what he was stating. He was saying, because I told him, hey, you know what? If somebody's racist and you go beat them up, you're just going to reinforce their excuse for being racist. I mean, seriously, you speak up about people that you think are doing something wrong, and then those people start assaulting you. That's how you're viewing it, right? I want you to take a look at it like this. Let's say you're holding a sign for BLM, and some white guy come up and cold cocks you in the face, and people say that you deserve to get cold cocked in the face for being racist. Yeah. Of course, that's going to reinforce your belief that white people are horrible and white people are out to get you, and then you're going to be even more militant. I mean, this is you're using your First Amendment right. This person come up and assaulted you. This person has become militant against you for an opinion instead of trying to teach you and educate you and help to change your opinion, to help to show you some humanity. The person comes up to you and hurts you. Well, it's exactly the same if it's some idiot holding a KKK sign. I know lots of people that are in the KKK. And in Chapel, Nebraska, you can't throw a rock without hitting one of them. It's estimated, now this is not my estimation, but it's estimated that at the time that there was about 900 people in Chapel, Nebraska, approximately 300 of them were members of the KKK. When did the population of Chapel, Nebraska go from 900 to about 500? Well, that would be when Cabela's was closed by Bass Pro about 4 or 5 years ago. It's foggy as hell out. The fog. And we all know how it is. You guys get to see me like this sometimes, right? Where I'm not completely freaking out. Now, why is it that I'm like this sometimes and I'm, well, like that sometimes? because of my environment, because I'm overwhelmed, because, well, to be perfectly frank, I'm a homeless man. Anybody can do whatever they want to me at any time. I have no recourse against it. I just have to take it. I have to trust people. If I got court stuff and I'm innocent, well, the courts assume I'm guilty until proven innocent. So I have to prove my innocence. I have to prove my innocence. I shouldn't have to break the law because officers are breaking the law. I shouldn't have to break the law because my friends are breaking the law. The officers didn't want to do their jobs, and my friends didn't want to come forward and tell the truth. They didn't want people knowing about their past or digging up their past. Well, I don't care. You're afraid of what you've done in the past or your record from the past. That is on you. That ain't my fault. And you know what? People are being killed because you are a coward. You being a coward and not coming forward with what you knew resulted in me getting treated like I'm a schizophrenic, delusional nut job. My words aren't heard. I have to be afraid to go to cops. When Jamie was assaulted, I had to record that. If I hadn't recorded it, they'd pretend it didn't happen. When they realized it did happen, they played retarded. It's been, 6 months that I've been here that I've had to deal with everybody that I run into playing completely retarded. Nothing I can do. Don't lie to me. This is an at-risk woman, a small at-risk adult, a very small woman. She's frail, she is skinny. And here's this guy who's probably between 6'4" and 6'7", cold cock her in the back of the head. I mean, seriously, if you look at the video, it's called Jamie Again. Matter of fact, I'll look it up right now if it'll actually come up. Oh, come on. The thing is, this could have been cut off right from the beginning by my friends and family not treating me like I'm just a homeless dude. All of you know I don't do drugs. All of you. All of you know I don't drink. All of you know that I'm not violent. All of you know that. But not one of you come forward with me to speak up. Not one of you went in with me for my safety when it made a difference, so that I could make a report without fear of being brushed off, blown off, or arrested, or assaulted, or sent to a friggin' nuthatch and injected with drugs. It is not okay for people to be openly hostile with a male victim. And that's what I deal with. Open hostility for trying to turn in predators. My predators and the predators of children. Yes, Rand Ingersoll is my friend. That doesn't mean she wasn't beating on them kids. She was charged with child abuse for beating on those kids. They dropped the charges because she's a female. Sarah Nelson, sexual assault. They let her plead it down because she's female. Michelle DeCini, sexual assault against an inmate. They let her plead it down because she's female. You know, the 13 corrections officers in Nebraska who were arrested in 2021 for, illegal contact with the prisoners. Inappropriate contact with the prisoners. 11 of the 13 were female. The stuff that I have to show shows why it is that we are at-risk adults. You already know that we're at-risk adults for exactly these reasons. Every single mandated reporter is aware that I am an at-risk adult for this reason. And every single mandated reporter preys on that, to not do their job, especially when I go in alone, to play stupid, to play ignorant, to pretend like they don't know their jobs, like they don't know the law. Ignorance is no excuse, especially when you're trained. If you're a doctor who is trained to do CPR and you kill a bunch of patients and you say, oh, well, I didn't know how to do CPR. The hell you don't. If you just watch, you know how to do CPR. You know how to use the defibrillator. You as a doctor are supposed to know what you're doing. You are supposed to know your job. Your ignorance of your job gets people killed. There's also the fact that these guys aren't ignorant of their job. This is part of their training. But because I am a male, it is okay to do these things to me. Because I am a male, I have to do it myself. Because I am a male, instead of helping me to turn it in immediately like you would if I was a woman. That's right. If I was a woman, you would turn it in right away. If I was a child, you would turn it in right away. But instead, what do? You let these people abuse me until I scream for help, and then you tell me I'm acting like a woman. I'm acting like a child. Well, that's sexism. When I go to the cops about being abused, I'm told I'm acting like a woman. You're acting like a woman. You're acting like a woman. People bringing up stuff that happened to them 20 years ago, wanting to tell me not to bring up the past. Are you out of your mind? Predation against males is dominant in this country. Women are 11 times more likely to be stalkers than men, and I saw another statistic that's a lot higher, actually, like 18%, which that's friggin' insane. 18 times, Women are 18 times more likely to engage in stalking behaviors, not just against men, but also against other women. Also, women are a lot more likely to get other people involved. Women are more likely to, instead of doing the right thing, when you're angry, how many women who offered to help me from these website groups, these women are primarily, just so you know, alcoholics and drug addicts or recovering drug addicts, statistically. Bored housewives. Now, a lot of these women are so twisted and manipulative that, yeah, they get onto these websites after, they're just looking for somebody to hurt. Now then, they want to pretend like they'll be my friend and they'll help me show the truth, but they don't. They never do. They never make any effort at it. None whatsoever. So guess what? I speak up. I know I'm not going to get heard. Sure, you guys hear me. You hear that I'm using my voice. But you're not comprehending the words. All of the things that cut me off from being able to do what I need to do to defend myself. That's the problem. When you're a homeless and disabled man, your guilt is assumed and people can do whatever they want to you. No matter how many times I went in about the abuse before Natalie's death, or for 6 months afterwards, no matter what, not one friend ever cared enough to go in with me. Not one. Knowing that I was telling the truth. Knowing full well, why is it that they did not do that? Well, because with Peaches, that's Kayla Trujillo, you can hear it in the conversations between her and I, she was a drug dealer. No, she doesn't want everybody to know that she's a drug dealer and mommy. Leatha Plunkett, she definitely didn't want people to know that she was a drug dealer and a mommy. But then again, she was also a neglectful mommy. She was a horrible mommy. Her son Gabriel deserved a lot better than that, that's for certain. But he's a male, who cares? Who cares? He's a male. When a male needs help, you tell him he needs to do it himself. You completely ignore all of the dynamics of his situation. All you see is a penis. You don't care that he's got PTSD from abuse. You don't care that he grew up in the system being raped and beaten. You don't care that he's got Tourette syndrome. You don't care that he's autistic. Matter of fact, you prey on those things. He's autistic. He's easy to talk over. He's easy to talk down to. He's easy to treat like a retard. He's easy to fucking scare and intimidate. And if we want to beat him up, nobody's going to care. What'd you say? Well, this retard came after us. It's the retard's fault. Hey, we didn't know that he was retarded. And that is the way that they try to play it off. Oh, this retard was trying to commit suicide. No, I wasn't. I was trying to get help, and nobody would help. Nobody would even listen. Nobody would listen. Everybody just wanted to talk over me. Lanny Engline wanted to talk over me. Amanda Engline wanted to talk over me. Miss Jerry wanted to talk over me. Everybody wanted to talk over me. They made me feel like I was nothing. You're helping me by treating me that crappily. And then you pretend that I'm a bad person because I speak out because you fucking yelled at me over and over and over again because what you had to say was more important than the retard. Doing what you wanted instead of listening to the retard. What did you do? Lanny Engline bought a bus ticket. She did not follow instructions. She did not listen to the words that were coming out of my mouth. What she did, she bought a bus ticket, told me that she bought a bus ticket after she bought the bus ticket, and she wanted me to get on a bus right friggin' then and there. I was having a panic attack stuck in friggin' downtown Boulder. I'm trying to get my flip phone so that I can show what really happened in Virginia. And I got Ken and Leah pretending like I'm some horrible monster after they've stolen my disability money and they've assaulted me in the kitchen. Ken Wilson, Leatha Plunkett, and Dawn Bird all took part in that. And here I am stuck in public 6 years later because I tried to get help. How is that acceptable? How is that okay?